Hello everyone, it's Sherelle here. Happy Monday. Hope your week has started off well. So welcome to this mini little session that I'm putting out there today on how to practice self-compassion. Alright, for those who don't know me, my name is Sherelle. I'm a mum to two beautiful girls and a secondary teacher. Basically, although I taught lots of different subjects during my teaching, I was obsessed with personal development. So hence why I'm sharing some awesome classes, my favourite lessons with you, to share the personal development love. And now, while I'm on family leave, I'm currently building my doTERRA business, sharing knowledge and experience and empowering others about the power of essential oils. So I feel like I've got the best job in the world at the moment. So stop my bragging, let's jump straight into it. I am going to share this topic around around self-compassion. Lost my thought there. I think it's really relevant right now. I feel that there's a lot of stress going on in the homes. People are talking about it, they're sharing that with me. Women in particular are feeling it. They're taking on a lot of different roles in terms of, the homeschooling, working from home, while they're looking after their kids, cleaning the house, like doing everything. Teens and kids are feeling stressful as well. So that's why I thought this is a really good time to share this activity, because it's going to help take that stress level off. It's going to make you feel lighter. You're going to be able to concentrate and just be more effective in whatever you're trying to do, because you don't have all this stress on you. It's a really simple task. It's really powerful. You can do it with pen and paper. It can be a sit down sort of type lesson, or you could just do it on the spot. Okay, once you know how to do it, can clear that stressful feelings right there on the spot, just sort of thinking about it. Okay, I do feel that this self-compassion is a topic that isn't necessarily taught in schools, and not like literacy and our numeracy that is really at the front. And I think this is something that parents could learn to role model, because it's a great way to learn. If we can see other people doing it, then our kids are going to benefit when they see us doing it. That's what I meant to say. So first of all, what is self-compassion? Self-compassion is extending compassion to oneself in instances of perceived inadequacy, failure, or general suffering. So in short, it's treating yourself like you would treat, a loved one or a friend or somebody that you really, really care about. So it's treating yourself like you would treat that person. And often we don't do that. We tend to listen to our inner critical voice and let that beat us up. So this is the activity. And one thing before I jump on, the resources from Dr. Kristin Neff. She is amazing about this topic. You definitely look her up if you want to learn more about self-compassion. I know she's got YouTube, TED Talks, and a whole bunch of other little activities. Today I'm just doing the activity that I did a lot with my teenagers in BCAL personal development. So 16, 17, 18-year-olds, like year 11. They got a lot out of this class, so that's why I've chosen this activity, because I'm most experienced in this one. But Kristin Neff, check her out, and if you just type in self-compassion, she'd come up with a whole bunch of resources for you. So what you need is pen and paper. Like I said, you can just do it in a conversation, but pen and paper is also good. It is suited for teenagers, but can easily be adapted to suit, sort of upper primary school kids. Just adapt the language. The time required, I've written down 15 to 30 minutes. Just see where it goes. You could extend it and talk more about it, or it could be a quick, sharp activity because they just got it. Because kids are really honest, so it can happen quite quickly. There's not much thinking involved. The research suggests to do this activity at least once a week if you want to increase feelings of self-compassion. or at least once a month. So it's something you're not just going to do once and then just never do it again. It's something that you want to revisit, you want to be talking about, and including that language within the home about self-compassion and self-love, and what is it, how do we use it. So it's not a once-off activity. This is a character strength that we really want to build in our kids, to build emotional resilience, you know, so that they can be stronger. All right, so how do we do it? Here we go. It doesn't take long. Here we go. Ask the student, or who you are working with, to identify something that makes them feel uncomfortable. All right, it could be something that's making them feel sad, something that's making them feel angry or frustrated. It could be related to an event that's happened during the day. As a teacher, I just kept it quite light. You know, it could be something like they fell over, they fell off their bike, they lost a game of football on the weekend, you know, they missed a kick, or, you know, they missed a goal, or just something sort of fairly light. It can be anything that they're upset about or just feeling uncomfortable about. Now, depending on who you're working with and the relationship that you have with them, you could ask them to think of something about themselves that's making them feel uncomfortable. So it could be something about their personality, their behavior, their abilities, which is a really big one, or a relationship. All right, it could be, but like I said, in a class, I was doing it within a class of 26, I just kept it quite light. In saying that, I did say to the students that I wasn't going to read it, it was personal, so they could go as deep and as personal as they really wanted to. Now, mums, if you're doing this activity, you might want to try this. You may be thinking, you know, there's so much going on right now, so you might be feeling a lot of self-doubt, a lot of overthinking, you've got a lot of overwhelm happening because of all these multiple hats that you've just been wearing. So this you can do this task as well. So you could jot that down about how you're just overthinking, or you're unsure, or just not feeling like you're doing a good enough job right now. Okay, so that would be something about your ability. Just as an example, just putting an example out there. So step 2, so you've identified, step 1 was identifying something that's making you feel uncomfortable. Step 2 is asking them to write down and describe how it makes them feel. Okay, so does it make them feel sad or embarrassed because, you know, they missed the goal on the weekend or lost the game? There's no footy on at the moment, so that's not quite applicable, but you get the idea. You know, are they feeling angry? So really encourage honesty. I found when I did this time and time again with my students, honesty came very, very natural to teenagers. They did not have a problem with writing about how it made them feel, but just pointed out, you know, let's be honest, because the task isn't going to work if you're not going to be honest. Now, if you're doing it yourself, tell yourself to be honest. Let them know that you're the only one that's going to be seeing this, and like I said before, I actually just said to the students that this was a private task, and it was up to them if they wanted to show me it at the end, and students never had a problem showing me. It wasn't an activity that I would do in first term, admittedly. It was something that I would do later on when I've built that relationship with them. So they've identified it, they've described how it's making them feel. We're up to step 3. Now, pretend that your best friend has come to you with this problem, okay? And get your person, whether it's your child you're doing this with, or you're doing it with yourself, visualize this person literally coming up to you and just like telling you, oh, look, this is what happened and this is how I'm feeling, and they're just offloading it to you. Now, I say pretend because as soon as you use the word pretend, it just lightens the mood, all right? Because you've just talked about this thing that makes you feel really uncomfortable, really heavy, you know, could be emotional, angry, whatever. As soon as you say, now pretend your friend has come to you with this task, the energy just shifts in the room, right? And they feel like the feelings have sort of removed them from themselves, like there's a bit of a distance there, and now we've allowed for like a new perspective on this problem. And the reason why I'm just talking about that is because there's different ways you can do this task, but I specifically like the pretend that your friend has come because of those reasons that I just said. So pretend your friend has come to you with this problem. And step number 4 is you're writing a letter to your friend's problem. All right. So what would you say to them? What advice would you have for them? Okay. And just be honest. Try not to overthink it. Some students might need prompting depending on what age you're working with. So but I wouldn't rush into the prompt. Like, allow thinking time. I mean, it's not something you just want to push. So allow thinking time. Like, quiet time is good. That's a good thing. The student or the person that you're working with is thinking, they're processing. So allow some space. And then you might prompt. What would you say to show that you're understanding their feelings? Okay, and that's just about empathy. You might, what would you say or show in the letter to highlight that you accept what's going on? How would you show that you love and care for this person? It's your friend, right? How would you show that everything's going to be okay? How can you possibly put a little solution in there for your friend to try for this problem? Okay, and they're just little prompts that you might throw out there to whoever you're working with, or to yourself. If you're doing this for yourself, they're prompts. So, just as a little side note, some students will write a lot, okay? The girls in the class would write a full page, they would be offering all these solutions and these kind words and, so much empathy. I understand, that happened to me. And, they would just write a whole page. Some people would write 2 lines, they just offer a little bit of advice and something kind to get the task done. But a lot of the boys in particular, just quick notes. That's fine, and that's completely fine. That's the way they operate. So just be okay with that. Now, step 5, after writing the letter, put it down for a little while. Okay, then come back to it and read your own advice. Okay, to your own problem, all right? Because it wasn't your friend's problem, it was your problem, and you have given advice to your own self, your own problem. Listen to that letter, like when you're reading it, and take the advice, all right? So this is an act of self-compassion. You've just taught yourself self-compassion, or you've taught this person how to have some self-love, all right? Now, this may be something that you just do once, within your home, and then you can just refer back to it again. It might be a task that you do once a week, it might be a task you do once a month, but I think it's just a good way to, whenever you're just feeling like you're putting lots of pressure on yourself, you're like, am I doing a good job? Have I done the right thing? Think, now what would I say to my best friend if my best friend was telling me this? All right, and then listen to that advice. That's self-compassion. Right? I think we forget that. So that is the task. Like, that's how simple it is. You state the problem, you write down how it makes you feel, then you pretend your friend has come to you with this problem, and you offer your friend advice. Put the letter down, pick it up later and reread it, and that is the advice that you need to take. The advice from yourself, and that's how you need to treat yourself. Right? So you're treating yourself like you would treat your friend. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? All right. So that's the end of the little mini lesson. My notes are going to be up on the website, so www.sharelle.com.au. Have a look in the Building Emotional Resilience tab, and I'm going to link it up as well in this post, just so you can go back and just see those 4 or 5 steps. Comment below if you found this useful. I'd love to hear your feedback. Drop a love heart or something, or let me know how you like to teach and practice and role model self-compassion within your home. I'd love to hear how you do that, because there's lots of different ways and we can definitely share. And just as a final note, on Thursday I am teaching a different type of class, an essential oil class, over in the health and wellness chat group. So you're more than welcome to join that if you are interested. But otherwise, have a great Monday, everyone, and have an awesome week. Thank you guys for sticking around on live too. I love it when there's a few people on live. Cool. I'm going to read the comments and I will see you on Thursday's class, but I'm going to do Mondays live on this page every Monday at 1:30. So if I don't see you before then, I will see you next Monday with a new class. See you guys.